What's up everyone, Vitaly here, and in this video I'm going to be giving you a beginner's guide to Pinterest, helping you understand what it is, how it works, how to make money with it, traffic generation, and just basically helping you understand what the potential of this search engine is. Pinterest, to get started, is basically an image-based search engine where you create images and or videos that are known as pins. You share them on your Pinterest account, and depending on what the context is, that pin gets shared around Pinterest. And what happens is that it gets exposure, views, saves, and perhaps even pin clicks, which you can drive from Pinterest to a website where maybe you can sell something, like maybe do affiliate marketing where you promote products, or just earn money from ads. That's how I personally do it. I've been involved with Pinterest for a few years, but I've really stepped it up this particular year because I've really been diving deep into this search engine, into other ones that are out there, to grow my traffic base and understanding of making money online overall, and I've had a pretty good results with it. Here's some of my stats from the beginning, from the middle of last year till today. I've gotten almost 5 million impressions, so the pins that I have created that are on my account over here, let me just show you some of them, have been viewed, have popped up almost 5 million times across the Pinterest search engine, and you can see that based over here. Engagements, we're not going to talk about that, but we're going to look at outbound clicks. Outbound clicks basically means that I've gotten almost over 29,000 people clicking from the pin to visit my website, so my website has gotten 30,000 visits. All of the pins that I create on my account here in Pinterest actually link back to this website called Nature Seeker, and on this website I run ads on the different articles that I create, and for every 1,000 visitors that my website gets, it doesn't matter if it's from Pinterest, from Facebook, from Google, Bing, whatever, it doesn't matter. But for every 1,000 visitors that I get, I'll make about $30 in ad revenue, and I actually make about 500 plus every single month. It's died down a little bit over the past month or so because the subject of nature isn't as interesting towards the end of the year, but it does pick up after like February of March, and then onwards towards the spring and summer, so that things will pick up that way. And then the last thing to know is when it comes to saves, when you share stuff on Pinterest, it can also be saved by other people that view your stuff. So just like you create pins on your Pinterest page, these pins are also distributed across the Pinterest search engine so other people can see it. And if they like what they see, they can save your pin to their own Pinterest account, which other people can view. So there's an element of social sharing that goes on. So Pinterest overall is basically a combination of an image-based search engine. So for example, you go into Pinterest and you type in California, you'll get pins that show California type stuff. But it's also a social network type of search engine where people can share each other's images, also known as pins, on their account, and this can provide you with more exposure and more growth. So that's a basic overview of Pinterest, and before I go any further, let me just quickly say that if you're new to my channel, my name is Vitaly, and I basically cover the subject of marketing, making money online, affiliate marketing, all things of that nature, whether it be through Pinterest, through search engines, through paid ads, Facebook, all that sort of stuff. I have a great deal of knowledge on many of these platforms because I do this for a living. I've been doing this for well over 16, 17 years now. And besides the income reports that I showed you that are over here, I do also do things like affiliate marketing. Here's some of my income reports on that. And I just share the knowledge that I've gathered over the decade plus that I've been involved with this stuff. So you can potentially do the same thing as well. I teach you about this. You're welcome to check out my channel for other videos on different types of platforms that are out there. But overall, if you're new or struggling and you're looking to make money online, my number one recommendation would be to check out the resource that I left a link to below in the description of this video, which basically is a beginner's guide to making money online, to teaching you the fundamentals and baseline knowledge of what you need to know to succeed at it. It's free, it's beginner friendly. I highly recommend checking that out if you've ever been interested in building an online business and making money online. So besides that, I'm going to get back into the main subject of this video. And so I actually have a list of things that I wanted to cover. So I showed you an introduction, I shared my stats, I gave you an overview of Pinterest, but let's now talk about starting out with Pinterest. So the first thing you'll notice is that I said niche over here. Now niche is basically a specific kind of subject, and so the thing to understand about Pinterest is that if we go to Google and we type in, how many Pinterest users, the Google AI, this is to be believed, says that there's over 522 million users, okay? And a majority of them are actually female, which is true. So when it comes to creating a Pinterest account, which you can do for free, one of the first things that you need to do is choose a subject that your Pinterest account will be based on. Now you can basically, use a wide range approach where you just basically make subjects of all different natures on your page, but I would recommend that it be centered around a subject that you like and something that is also often looked through in Pinterest. So for example, I made my particular Pinterest page based around the subject of nature. So I covered the subject of waterfalls, hiking trails, scenic drives, national parks, those sorts of things. That's what my Pinterest account is based on because I'm very interested in it, and also a lot of people in Pinterest are also interested in that subject, so I basically get the best of both worlds. You should also choose something that A, you're very interested in, and B, is something that correlates with what most of the user base in Pinterest is also interested in. And I would recommend that you consider the following niches or topics that are based on that. Something related to fitness. Women's subjects are also very interested, especially in the aesthetic option. Vacationing and travel, like beautiful cities, vacation spots, tropical areas, really, really huge. Those things are typically very, very popular within Pinterest. And so if you make some kind of Pinterest account and it's geared to making images, which are again known as pins, around one of those popular subjects, and you like that as well, you're probably going to be on the right track to get more exposure in Pinterest and thereby increasing the volume of people that see your pins, so you can potentially make money from that. So that's basically how that works. So make a list of things that you're interested in and then make it based on that. One thing I would say is that I've been doing this for quite a while, and a lot of people that I know that create Pinterest accounts on subjects like making money online, affiliate marketing, something related to online business, they tend not to do as well. And one of the correlations that I found with that is that the reason why this happens is because they basically start creating pins on, make $500 easily, or do this or do that. It's basically images that would be construed as spam. They don't really offer too much visual appeal. It's all about, the get-rich-quick scheme or some kind of shiny object that they're trying to push and stuff like that. And I've noticed a lot of people do this and they get their accounts banned, or there's some kind of algorithm update in Pinterest and they get their accounts, just basically their impressions and the exposure of their pins dies down. You can make money through Pinterest, but a lot of people that try to cut corners and just go straight for the make money quickly stuff, they tend not to do as well. I make money from Pinterest, but this is because what I do is I create beautiful images around nature and I link these images to my blog, and the blog is what has ads in it and also promotes affiliate items. But I provide more value because I don't just throw some kind of offer in front of people. I give them visual appeal, I give them visual content and value in the pin and in the content that I send the pin to, which is on my website, and then I promote stuff. That is the better way to go, I would argue. So I hope that this makes sense when it comes to niches. Now the next thing is, once you choose a niche, you're going to want to start creating pins, right? And the thing is, I use a special service called Canva, which you may or may not have heard of. It's basically a free service that has a bunch of images and a bunch of videos that you can use to basically create images for all sorts of different purposes, including for Pinterest. Now, when it comes to Pinterest, a large majority of the pins that you create are going to be in this vertical rectangular format that you see. You will see others over here, but at least for me and the majority of pins that I see are actually created within this format. And so when I go into Canva, you can actually load a default template that's within these parameters. Now, I will include a link to a video also in the description of this video that talks specifically about how this all works in terms of how I make pins in Pinterest. And so let me give you a preview of what this looks like. How to make stunning Pinterest pins in Canva. This is going to be the one that goes into detail because I don't want to kind of repeat the same stuff I say here. So check that video out if you want to start making them. Again, you can use Canva for free. They actually have an upgraded membership, which I personally use, but you don't need it unless you start making money with it and then you want to invest. It's like $12, $13 a month, which is nothing. It does open up the doors to more images to create, but I would recommend that for more serious users. In the beginning, you have plenty of images and media to work with, so you can do this for free. But in a nutshell, what I basically do to summarize this video is I go into Canva and I go to designs and I basically use pre-made templates to put up a picture there, and then I replace whatever the picture is here, which is with cookies. I'll replace it with nature, and I'll change the title to whatever the nature subject is, and I'll just keep doing this again and again, but I'm not going to use the same design. I'll use different kinds of designs. So you'll notice all of these designs that I created here, Some of them are familiar when it comes to the template style, but the images are different. And each day I will go through this, I'll make 5 to 10 pins, and then that's how I'll do it. I'll keep loading them up, I'll keep making them here, loading them into Pinterest, and then publishing them. And so that's just basically what I do. But Canva is an awesome asset when it comes to making Pinterest pins, okay? Now, tips for success. I'm going to give you some generalized tips, and again, I will leave another link below this video in the description which talks about a case study of how I make $100 to $200 a month in Pinterest. It's not a lot if you think about it, but considering that this is all through free traffic and it is slowly growing, why not, right? But I'm going to leave a link to that. But basically, the main tips that I have for you when it comes to Pinterest are sort of main points that I made throughout this video. So choose a niche that's interesting to you and also appeals to a larger audience in Pinterest, and I gave you a few ideas of those niches. Second, make 5 to 10 pins and load them up every single day in Pinterest. I've noticed that if you create pins daily in Pinterest and you load them up, you basically quote unquote feed the beast. I've noticed that if I stop uploading pins a day or two and something like that, my impressions start to drop. They don't, drop to zero, but you do start to see a decline. You want to keep feeding the beast. You want to keep feeding it 5 to 10 pins every single day. And in fact, I'm going to go into my Pinterest account and publish 10 pins right now and just show you how I do that. So I'm going to go to Pinterest. I'm going to go to create pin. I actually have 10 that I've saved as drafts that you can see on the left over here. And I'm just going to give you one example. So here's a pin that I created on the 30 best day hikes in Arizona. This is the title of it. And then this is a description that I created, which is a short description of what it is. And the link is basically linking to my Nature Seeker page, which is the best hikes in Arizona. And so what you'll notice here is that I have a board called Arizona. And the way that that works is that when you have a Pinterest account, you create pins, which are images or videos. But when you create a lot of different pins, you want to start creating boards, which are basically categories. So let's say I have 100 pins that I created, and 50 of those pins are based around Arizona. It's in my best interest to create a board called Arizona, which is a category, take those 50 pins and put them into that category. In your case, if you have something, let's say on home improvement, you may want to make, like if you make 1,000 different pins on different places of the house where you do home improvement, you might want to make a board on the kitchen. You want to make a board on the bedroom, living room, whatever. You get where I'm going with that. So categorizing is very important. But basically, I'm going to put this in the board called Arizona, and then you see where it says tagged topics. You can actually type stuff in here, and some default topics will pop up. So something that is relevant to this. So in this case, Arizona and hiking trail are relevant to that. And then I will publish this, and this will be published to my post. Now, if you have all of these other images that are uploaded, I'm going to click on select all, and I'm just going to click on publish to bulk publish them all. And I do this every single day. 5 to 10 pins at least a day. There's people that have enough time to do 50 to 100 pins a day. If you can maintain that, go for it, because the more pins you publish, the more exposure you'll get on Pinterest and the faster you may see results. It's not a guarantee, but generally speaking, it can lead to faster results. So that's another tip that I have. And also, you want to make high quality images. So you don't just want to create some kind of blank image. Sometimes it might work, but I would argue most of the time it doesn't. And Canva is going to be your best friend when it comes to this in my personal experience, because it will help you create beautiful images very quickly. So be sure to use Canva and just stay consistent with it. I mean, you want to steer people to a website, and which is the next tip. You don't just want to keep people within Pinterest. You want to steer them to your website. And so if you have a website, create different content on that website and steer people to different pages. So all of the pins that I have, let me just actually quickly show you this. So the pins that I have over here, the ones that I have created, let me actually just quickly show you where, when I click on saved, it'll show you the boards that I've created. I've created boards on Acadia National Park, Adirondacks, different states like Alabama, there's the Apostle Islands, Arches National Park, Arizona. These are all categories within which I have put different pins that are related to that. So Aruba, I will have pins that talk about Aruba. But at the same time, when I steer people from my Pinterest page to my website, I will steer them to different pages and posts on my website. Sometimes I'll steer them to the same one, but I want to mix it up. And I actually have like close to 400 different posts on my website about different national parks, about different beautiful places to visit. I will create different pins around these places, like maybe I'll create a pin or two today on the Grand Canyon National Park, and I'll link it to this one from Pinterest. I'll create one about Havasupai, I'll link it there. Maybe I'll create one about Yellowstone National Park, I'll link it there. So I distribute, not necessarily evenly, but I distribute different pins that I create to different relevant pages on my website. And so that gives me the ability to create a wide range of different diverse images. And so that's how it basically works. My end goal when it comes to Pinterest, and that may be the case for you, is to create a lot of pins on Pinterest, get a lot of people visiting them, saving them, clicking on them, and many people to visit my website. The more people visit my website, the more money I can make from the ads that are running on this website. And that's essentially how you make money with Pinterest. Now, another thing to know is that when it comes to seeing the results of how your pins are performing, let me just give you a few examples of what this looks like. I'll click on one of my boards that I have over here, and I want you to notice something. So you'll notice this I sign over here. Let me actually just increase this a little bit so you see this. There's 3 different icons over here. This is very important for you to know. So the first icon, which shows the I, it says 48. This means that your pin, this pin, got 48 impressions. So 48 different impressions around Pinterest. The higher the impressions, the better. Then this pin icon, which says 0 next to it, this means that 0 people have saved this pin. That's okay. And then 0 over here is pin clicks. So people that clicked on this pin, the more people that click on the pin, the better. Now, here's another thing that's good. Here's another one that performed even better. This one got over 170 impressions, 8 pin clicks, so 8 other people with Pinterest accounts saved this pin to their board, which is a form of social sharing. Think of like people sharing content on Facebook, which is great. And I've gotten 6 pin clicks, which is great. So obviously you don't want this to be a 0, you do want this to be higher and higher, and not all of the pins that you're going to make are going to have these kinds of results or something better. Most of the time they're going to be like this, but volume and quality is what's essentially going to get you results here. And the thing to understand is when you create pins on Pinterest, another tip to understand is it takes time for them to develop. The pins that I literally just published before you today in this video, it's going to be about a month, maybe more, before they start to really see more results on Pinterest. So don't think that you're going to see results very quickly. That's why if you start to, it's kind of like planting seeds in a garden and you water them, they don't sprout the next day. It takes them a while to do that, but you have to keep kind of watering the garden, putting in more pins every single day to keep this process going, okay? That's the next tip that I wanted to share with you. And then finally, just a summary. I mean, Pinterest, when it comes down to it, is a potentially awesome search engine for you to get great results from. I mean, I would say, in the intermediate and above level when it comes to the results that I get with Pinterest, but I know people that are getting millions of impressions on their Pinterest account every single month, hundreds of thousands of clicks and visitors going to their website from Pinterest and making thousands, 10,000 plus every single month because they're using Pinterest. And that's my ultimate goal when it comes down to it. And the thing about Pinterest is that the more consistent you stay with it by posting pins constantly and growing your exposure on Pinterest, the more this grows. And the more this grows, it's kind of like a snowball effect. So staying consistent with Pinterest can potentially get you great results. But I would recommend that you have a website so you send traffic to some kind of traffic to from your Pinterest to something which has value, so you can then make money from it. And so that's basically what I wanted to get across to you in this video. I really hope that it was understandable. Me personally, when I started with Pinterest, I was kind of intimidated by it because I didn't understand this terminology and all these sorts of things. And when I finally dug deep into it and started really practicing it and understanding it, that's when I decided to, do things like, get involved with it heavily and make this video for you. So I hope that it makes a lot of sense. If there's questions that you have, you're more than welcome to ask me in the comments section below. But at the same time, I do want to remind you that I will leave links to these other important resources about Pinterest that will supplement the training that you got here. In addition to that, I'm going to leave one more link in the description, which is going to take you to a free beginner guide on how to make money online and how to grow an online business following the same footsteps that I do. Again, I make a full-time income in this business. Pinterest is a small part of my overall online business, but if you ever needed to know the fundamentals, how to get started step by step, there's a free beginner guide that you're welcome to check out below this video. It's free, it's beginner friendly. I can't say much more about it. Besides that, I think it's also great, but you decide for yourself, check it out, and draw your own conclusions. But other than that, thank you so much for watching this video. I do realize it's a little bit long, but if you stuck around this long, I really appreciate that. I'll also leave timestamps below in the description as well, so you can kind of fast forward or rewind if you have to. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.